You're thinking, aren't you? There's a faint feeling in the back of your mind that something's off. Maybe it's tomorrow's meeting. Maybe it's the response to that message you sent. Maybe it's nothing, just a nameless unease you can't quite pin down. Here's the truth, your brain is sabotaging you. And you don't even realize it. Before we go on, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and share in the comments how you're feeling while watching this video. Your experiences strengthen this community. 3:47 a.m. You open your eyes. The room is dark. Your phone screen casts a blue glow on the bedroom walls. You check the time, 3:47. Again. The third hour of the third night. Your heart's racing, your palms are clammy. And that feeling, that damn feeling, is sitting in the middle of your chest, like someone slowly tightening a grip on your throat. Why did you wake up? You don't know. Did you have a nightmare? You can't remember. But now, in the dark, your mind's already at work. Did you respond to that email professionally enough? Is your kid really happy at school? That weird chest pain, could it be something serious? Bills. The future of your job. That thing your mom said 3 days ago, still echoing in your ears. That's what anxiety is, isn't it? Not just thinking, thoughts walking all over you. You didn't summon them. You didn't ask them to come. But they're there. Always there. You turn to face the opposite side of the bed. Your significant other is sound sleeping. They breathe calmly and steadily. And you ask yourself, why am I not at ease when others are? What's the matter with me? Let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with you. Your brain is working exactly as it was designed to. The problem is, it was designed for a world 50,000 years ago. And you're living in the chaos of 2025. The anatomy of anxiety, your survival mechanism gone haywire. For the time being, let's leave that bedroom. Shut your eyes and follow me. 50,000 years ago. You're walking through the savannas of Africa. Tall grass surrounds you. The sun beats down overhead. And you have one job: all survive. Find food. Avoid predators. Hunt for your tribe. Reproduce. Make it to tomorrow. Deep in your brain, there's a structure called the amygdala. It's the size of an almond. But this tiny thing is what keeps you alive. It's your danger detector. And it does a phenomenal job. A rustle in the bushes. Your amygdala kicks into gear. Instant decision, fight or flight. No time to think. Cortisol spikes. Your heart races. Muscles tense. And you run. Then you look back, it was just the wind. But that's okay. A false alarm kept you alive. Because one mistake could mean death. One thing your amygdala has learnt well is that anxiety is a necessary part of life. Now fast forward. 2025, you're sitting in an office. Fluorescent lights hum above you. Your computer screen burns your eyes. Your phone buzzes on the desk. A message. From your boss. Are you free? We need to talk. And there it is. Again. That feeling. In your chest. Your stomach churns. Your hands tremble. Your brain switches to alarm mode. Your amygdala screams, danger. 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 But where's the danger? No lion is chasing you. Your life isn't at stake. It's just a message. 7 words. But your brain doesn't know the difference. Your prefrontal cortex, that rational, logical part, tries to reason with your amygdala, hey, calm down. It's just a meeting. No one's dying. But your amygdala isn't listening. It's programmed by millions of years of evolution. And in its language, uncertainty equals danger. That's the secret of modern anxiety. Your survival mechanism is responding to things that no longer threaten you. Social rejection, financial uncertainty, fear of the future, fear of failure, none of these will physically kill you. But your brain files them under the same category, existential threat. The age of anxiety. Why is everyone anxious now? If I were to give you a statistic, and I hate statistics because they're cold and lifeless, but this one matters. 1 in 5 people in America experienced an anxiety disorder last year. 20%. That means in your neighborhood, 1 in every 5 houses has someone who can't sleep at night. Antidepressants are among the most prescribed medications. And the young, they're bearing the heaviest burden. Why? Why now? Why our generation? The explanation is straightforward but horrifying, because the human brain has never been subjected to such a high level of stimulation. Look. Pick up your phone. Right now. Come on. Check your notifications. How many? 10? 20? Emails, messages, news, updates, reminders. Each one designed to steal your attention. Each one giving your brain's reward center a tiny dopamine hit. And then, when nothing comes of it, because most of it's trivial, that dopamine crashes. And your brain craves more. You open social media. Just for a quick check. But 2 hours later, you're scrolling. You see everyone's perfect lives. Their vacations. Their relationships. Their successes. And you look at your own life, that ordinary, messy, complicated reality, and a sense of lack creeps in. Your amygdala alerts you to the fact that you are lagging behind. You're not succeeding. You are insufficient. You turn on the news. Pandemics. Economic crises. Political chaos. Climate disasters. Violence. Every day, a new fear. And your brain processes each one as a personal threat. There's a 24-hour news cycle now. Constant notifications. Algorithms feed you the content that upsets you the most, because distress means clicks. Fear means views. And anxiety means ad revenue. Your amygdala evolved for a lion attack. Maybe twice a year. Now, it's going off 100 times a day. Emails. Deadlines. Financial worries. Relationship tensions. Health concerns. Family responsibilities. And you live in a world where you're expected to be always on. You never stop. You never truly rest. Because even on vacation, your phone is there. Messages come in. Work calls. And your mind never gets to shut off. The insidious language of anxiety, silent conversations. Let me show you how anxiety really works. Because it's not just a feeling. It's a process. A cycle. And once it starts, it's so hard to tell it to stop. Monday morning. The alarm goes off. You open your eyes. And the first thought, that all too familiar thought, comes, I have so much to do today. You're in the shower. Water hits your face. But your mind is already making lists. Meeting. Project. That phone call. Grocery shopping. Picking up the kid from school. Dinner. Bills. Breakfast. You're not even eating. You're drinking coffee, checking your phone. An email. A client's unhappy. Your heart skips a beat. Your breathing gets shallow. You're stuck in traffic on the way to work. You're going to be late. Behind the wheel, your hands grip the steering wheel tightly. Why didn't I leave earlier? Why am I always like this? You get to work. Meeting. Everyone's looking at you. You say something. But the words feel wrong coming out of your mouth. Did you say something stupid? Did everyone notice? The meeting ends. You go back to your desk. But you replay that moment over and over. What did I say? Why did I say it like that? Lunch. You don't consume food. Your stomach is constricted. Your appetite was sated with anxiety. Afternoon. More emails. More deadlines. And that weird chest pain is back. You open Google. Chest pain in young adults. Results load. Heart attack. Panic attack. Angina. Death. Panic rises. You can't breathe. You leave the office. Head to the bathroom. Look in the mirror. Your face is pale. You're sweating. Am I dying? You're not. It's just anxiety. Again. You get home. You're sitting at the dinner table with your family. But you're not there. Your mind is on tomorrow's presentation. That thing you said. That email. Your kid is telling you something. But you're not listening. What did you say, sweetie? They repeat it. But you're gone again. Night. You get into bed. Close your eyes. And the thoughts start. A list. To-dos. Worries. Regrets. And you lie there, in the dark, asking yourself, why can't I just relax? The neuroscience of anxiety, what's happening inside your brain? Let's dive into some science. But don't worry, it won't be boring. Because this is about your story. Your brain is like an orchestra with 3 main sections. And anxiety is what happens when this orchestra plays out of tune. The amygdala, the alarm system. We've already talked about this, but let's revisit it because it's crucial. The amygdala is part of your limbic system, the primitive, survival-focused part of your brain. It's your danger detector. And when it spots something, it sets off a cascade in your body. It first communicates with the hypothalamus. Your adrenal glands are instructed by the hypothalamus to release the stress chemicals cortisol and adrenaline. Cortisol keeps you alert. It boosts your energy. But in the long run, it suppresses your immune system, messes with your digestion, and impairs your memory. Adrenaline speeds up your heart rate. It makes your breathing shallow. It tenses your muscles. You're in fight or flight mode. But in the modern world, there's nothing to fight or flee from. So this energy gets stuck in your body. As tension. As restlessness. As anxiety. The prefrontal cortex, the logic center. This is right behind your forehead. It's the CEO of your brain. Logical thinking, planning, decision-making, it all happens here. It tries to calm your amygdala. Hey, relax. It's just an email. But under stress, the prefrontal cortex loses its power. The amygdala takes over. That's why, when you're anxious, you can't think straight. That's why small things feel like massive disasters. The anterior cingulate cortex, the conflict monitor. This is part of the prefrontal cortex. It detects mental conflicts. It's what produces that something's wrong feeling. And in anxious people, this region is hyperactive. So you're constantly feeling like something's off. But you don't know what. That's the undefined unease. Everything seems fine, but something feels missing. The cycle. Anxiety is a self-feeding loop. You feel anxious, your amygdala sounds the alarm, cortisol spikes, your body tenses, these physical signals feed back to your brain says, see, there really is danger, more anxiety. Additionally, this cycle makes neuronal circuits stronger. The physical structure of your brain is altered by repeated thoughts because it is plastic. Anxiety develops into a pattern. Automatic. Unwanted. That's why you've been anxious for years. Because your brain has used the anxiety pathway so much, they're like highways now. Other thoughts, calmness, confidence, ease, are narrow, unused trails. The masks of anxiety, invisible faces. Anxiety doesn't always show up as the anxiety. Sometimes it hides. It wears disguises. Perfectionism. You tell yourself, I just have high standards. But really? It's fear of failure. Every project has to be perfect. Because if it's not, you're worthless. You spend hours editing an email, checking every word, reading it 10 times before hitting send. And after? Regret. Why did I phrase that sentence like that? Perfectionism is anxiety's mask. Beneath it, a desire for acceptance and a fear of rejection. People-pleasing. You always say yes. When people ask for something, you can't say no. Because saying no means letting them down. And letting them down means rejection. So you ignore your own needs. You live for others' wants. And deep down, resentment builds. But you can't show it. Because showing it means being a bad person. People-pleasing is anxiety's mask. Beneath it, a fear of being alone. Need for control. Everything needs to be organized. Everything is well organized. Because chaos results from a lack of a plan. And danger is a result of confusion. So you make lists, schedules, routines. And when the tiniest thing deviates from the plan, panic. A friend cancels last minute. Traffic jams. A project changes. And inside, you're collapsing. Because you've lost control. The need for control is anxiety's mask. Beneath it, a fear of uncertainty. Overthinking. You analyze the past. You script the future. What if this happened? Then I do this. But what if that happens? Then, for hours, you hold conversations in your head. You say things you never said. You predict their reactions. And the real conversation never happens. Because you've lived it so many times in your mind, you're exhausted. Overthinking is anxiety's mask. Beneath it, a fear of making mistakes. Now stop. Breathe. And be honest with yourself. How many of these masks are you wearing? Trauma and anxiety, shadows of the past. We need to dive deep here. Because often, the roots of anxiety lie not in today, but in yesterday. Go back to your childhood. Recall a scene. Maybe you're 6. Maybe 10. Something happened. Maybe not a major trauma, physical abuse, neglect, loss. Maybe a small moment. But that moment taught you something. Maybe your parents were fighting. They were yelling. And you were sitting quietly in the living room. Your heart was racing. And you thought to yourself, is this because of me? Maybe a kid at school excluded you. You were left alone on the playground. And you learned, I mustn't be different to be accepted. Maybe you failed a test. And you saw your parents' disappointment. And you understood, I have to be perfect to be worthy. These small moments, micro-traumas, sent a message to your brain. And that message got wired into your neural networks. The world isn't safe. I'm not enough. I must always be on guard. And now, as an adult, those childhood messages are still playing. You're not aware of it. But your amygdala remembers. Your boss criticizes you in a meeting. And there, your prefrontal cortex says, this is just feedback. Professional. Normal. But your amygdala screams, danger. Rejection. Inadequacy. And you feel like that 6-year-old child again. This is called a neural signature. Past traumas create specific reaction patterns in your brain. And these patterns are automatically triggered in similar situations. Here's the truth, most of the time, you're not reacting to the present situation, but to the shadow of the past. The cultural dimension of anxiety, you must succeed. Let's step back. Look at the bigger picture. You don't live in a vacuum. You're immersed in a culture. And that culture is constantly sending you messages. Succeed. What does that mean? Be rich. Be famous. Be powerful. Have social media followers. Own a beautiful house. An expensive car. A perfect body. And if you don't have these, you're a failure. Be busy. If you have free time, you're lazy. So your schedule must be packed. You always need something to do. How are you, or they ask. So busy, you say. As if it's a badge of honor. Be happy. And not just happy, always happy. Think positive. Be grateful. Look on the bright side. If you're sad, anxious, angry, you're negative. Something's wrong with you. More. Always more. More money. More success. More experiences. More. Because enough is never enough. These messages have been pumped into you since childhood. Advertisements. Movies. Social media. Even your family, your friends. And you've internalized them. And now, you're living in a burnout culture. Everyone's exhausted. Everyone's anxious. Everyone says, I'll rest someday. But that day never comes. Capitalism discovered that anxiety is the perfect breeding ground. Because anxious people consume more. Work harder. Obey more. If you're this anxious, maybe this product will calm you. If you're this inadequate, maybe this course will improve you. If you're this lonely, maybe this app will connect you. And you buy. Because you hope. But no product fills the void inside. Social isolation, the silent cry of loneliness. For thousands of years, humans lived in communities. Tribes. Villages. Extended families. You knew the people around you. They knew you. In a crisis, there was support. During a celebration, you were together. Now? You live in apartments. You don't know your neighbor. You're far from your family, maybe in another state, another country. You go to work, come home. And most nights, you're in front of a screen. Using social media gives you a sense of connection. However, in practice, you're more isolated. A study, people spend an average of 11 hours a day in front of screens. But meaningful face-to-face conversation? Less than 30 minutes a day. And loneliness feeds anxiety. Because when you're alone, you get lost in your thoughts. No one stops you. No one offers perspective. You're talking to yourself. And that inner voice, that damn inner voice, is rarely kind. It criticizes. It judges. It scares. I'm not alone, you say. I have friends. I have family. But loneliness isn't physical, it's emotional. Do you feel truly seen, heard, understood? Or are you just having surface-level conversations? How are you? I'm fine. Great. And both are lies. The dark side of the digital age, the psychological cost of social media. Let's be clear. Social media has industrialized anxiety. Let's look at the algorithms. Every platform, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, is coded with one purpose, to keep you on the screen. The more you watch, the more ads you see. The more money they make. And the most effective way to keep you on the screen. Triggering your emotions. Especially negative ones. Because anger, fear, envy, these create engagement. You scroll through the feed. A friend's engagement announcement. They look happy. And you? Unconsciously, you look at your own relationship. Why aren't we that happy? Someone else made a career leap. New job. Big salary. And you? You think about your own job frustrations. Someone else is traveling. Exotic beach. Sunset. And you? You haven't taken a vacation in a year. Every scroll, a small comparison. And every comparison, a small wound. After thousands of scrolls? A deep sense of inadequacy. Social media is a showcase of everyone's best moments. No one shares their nights of crying. No one shows their marriage problems, financial stress, inner crises. just the shiny moments. Filtered, edited, perfected moments. And you compare those perfect moments to your messy reality. And you lose. Every time. FOMO, fear of missing out. Your phone vibrates. A notification. If you don't check it, you'll miss something. Maybe important news. Maybe someone messaged you. Maybe an invitation. So you constantly check. Swipe right. Refresh. Look. And most of the time? Nothing. But next time, maybe. This is called intermittent reinforcement. The mechanism slot machines use. Sometimes you win, most times you lose. But that sometimes hooks you. Your dopamine system becomes addicted. And you're not even aware. But how many times a day do you check your phone? 50 times? 100 times? More? Every check expends mental energy. Divides your attention. And your mind never enters deep concentration, real rest, creative thinking. You're always on the surface. Shallow. Unsettled. The like economy. You share something. A photo. A thought. And you wait and watch. Are likes coming? Are there comments? Every like, a small dopamine hit. I'm valuable. I'm seen. I'm accepted. But if not enough likes come, you crumble inside. No one cares about me. I'm not interesting. I'm not good enough. You've tied your worth to external validation. And that validation is controlled by algorithms. Not even real people, artificial intelligence. And you've made yourself dependent on a machine's approval. The news cycle. Every day, a new disaster. Political scandals. Economic crises. Natural disasters. Violent incidents. And you consume this information. Because you want to be informed. But in reality, you're just accumulating more anxiety. Because you can't do anything with this news. It's happening thousands of kilometers away from you. But your brain processes it as if it's right next door. Your amygdala sounds the alarm. Cortisol rises. And you feel like you're under threat. But where's the threat? On the screen. An image made of pixels. And here's the result. In the digital age, your attention span has shrunk. Patience has decreased. Tolerance has vanished. And anxiety? It's become chronic. You're constantly stimulated, never satisfied, always uneasy. And the worst part? You think this isn't normal. Because everyone is like this. The body remembers the physical burden of anxiety. Anxiety isn't just mental. It lives in your body. Headaches. Tightness in the neck. Back discomfort. Feeling queasy. Irritable bowel syndrome. Sleep disorders. Persistent exhaustion. You go to doctors. Tests are done. Everything's normal, they say. But you don't feel normal. Because every day, there's discomfort in your body. And doctors can't explain it because they're looking for physical causes. But your problem is psychosomatic, the connection between mind and body. The stress hormone cycle. When you're anxious, cortisol is constantly elevated. Normally, cortisol should be high in the morning, low at night. But your cortisol? High all day. And it's wearing your body down. Your immune system is suppressed. You get sick more often. Infections last longer. Your digestive system is affected. Your stomach produces acid. Your intestines become sensitive. Eating becomes not a pleasure, but a problem. Your muscles are constantly tense. Because your body is in fight or flight mode. But it never relaxes. So your muscles ache. They tighten. And chronic pain begins. Sleep and anxiety. You retire to your bed. Your mind, however, never sleeps. Thoughts swirl. You are also unable to sleep. Hours pass while you gaze at the ceiling. Or you sleep, but it's not deep sleep. You can't enter the REM cycle. So when you wake up, you don't feel rested. You wake up exhausted. And sleep deprivation makes anxiety worse. Because a tired brain thinks less rationally. It's more emotional. More reactive. A vicious cycle: anxiety, sleep deprivation, more anxiety. Heart and anxiety. That tightness in your chest. Heart palpitations. Shortness of breath. And you think, am I having a heart attack? You go to the ER. EKG. Blood tests. Your heart is healthy, they say. It's a panic attack. But you can't convince yourself. Because it feels so real. How can it just be your mind? Because your mind and body aren't separate. They're one system. The alarm in your mind produces real physical reactions in your body. Real hormones. Real contractions. Real pain. Your body, a scorecard. A body carrying years of anxiety shows it. Facial lines. Slumped shoulders. Poor posture. Dark circles under your eyes. Skin problems. You look in the mirror and start seeing your parents. That tired expression. That heavy gaze. And you ask yourself, when did I get so old? You didn't age. You're just exhausted. And your body is carrying that exhaustion. The historical journey of anxiety: has humanity always been anxious? Let's go back in time. Because you might be wondering, have humans always been this way throughout history? Hunter-gatherer societies. Anthropological studies have looked at communities still living as hunter-gatherers today, in the Amazon rainforest, the Kalahari Desert. And they found something interesting: in these societies, chronic anxiety, depression, and panic disorders are extremely rare. Why? Because life is different. They live in small groups, 30 to 50 people. Everyone knows everyone. Social support is incredibly strong. Loneliness doesn't exist. Work and life aren't separate. You hunt, you gather, you contribute to the community. And the rest of the time? You rest. You tell stories. You dance. You spend time with the community. You don't think about the future. Because the future is like today. Change is slow. Life is cyclical: seasons, hunts, gatherings. Agricultural revolution? Everything changed. Humans shifted to settled life. Agriculture began. The concept of property emerged. And with it, new anxieties. Will my crops be enough? What if there's a drought? My neighbor has more land than me. For the first time, people began systematically worrying about the future. Because now, the future depended on planning. Industrial revolution. Factories. Cities. Mass production. And people left the land to migrate to cities. New anxieties: job security. Economic stability. Living among strangers. Communities broke down. Extended families fragmented. And people became isolated. Freud, Jung, and other early psychologists emerged during this period. Because there was a need. People were in mental distress. Neurotic disorders were spreading. Information age. The internet. Smartphones. Social media. And anxiety reached epidemic levels. Now, you're not just worrying about the future. You're worrying about the past. You're worrying about the present. And you're worrying about other people's lives. At no point in history has the human brain been exposed to so many stimuli. And never has it been so anxious. Cross-cultural anxiety: does everyone worry the same way? Here's the interesting part: different cultures worry in different ways. Western societies. Anxiety is mostly individual. Am I good enough? Will I succeed? Am I happy? Because Western culture emphasizes individualism. You're the architect of your own life. You're responsible for your own success, your own happiness. Failure? It's your fault. Eastern societies. Anxiety is mostly relational. Did I disappoint my family? What's my place in society? Am I a burden to others? Because Eastern cultures emphasize collectivism. You're part of a community. The impact of your actions on the group matters. Failure? It's shaming the family. Latin America. Relationships are highly valued. Family and friends are central. Anxiety often revolves around social disconnection. Are my relationships healthy? Am I loved? Northern Europe. Emphasis on performance and perfection. Work ethic is strong. Anxiety is often tied to professional failure. But globalization is blurring these differences. Now everyone is exposed to Western-style consumer culture. Everyone is on social media. Everyone is starting to share the same anxieties. Panic attack, the pinnacle of anxiety. Let me share a scene with you. It might feel familiar. Maybe you've experienced it. You're shopping in a supermarket. An ordinary Saturday. You're filling your cart. And suddenly, without any reason, your heart starts racing. At first, you don't notice. You pick up a product, check the price. But your heartbeat keeps speeding up. And then you realize. Your breathing becomes shallow. A tightness in your chest. You start sweating. Your knees tremble. You look around. People are shopping normally. But you? You feel like you're dying. You abandon the cart. You need to get out. Fresh air. But you can't walk. You grab onto a shelf. Your heart is pounding so hard it feels like it'll explode in your chest. Heart attack. This is a heart attack. Someone approaches. Are you okay? But you can't speak. You can't breathe. A wave of panic crashes over you. You're losing control. Ambulance. Hospital. Doctors rushing. EKG. Blood tests. Oxygen. And the results come back, your heart is fine. This was a panic attack. You don't believe it, though. Since it seemed so genuine. You had the impression that you were about to die. What is a panic attack? It's essentially your amygdala overreacting. A false alarm. There's no danger, but your brain sounds the alarm. And your body believes it's real. The result, an adrenaline surge. Heart racing. Hyperventilation, rapid breathing. And hyperventilation disrupts the carbon dioxide balance in your blood. This causes dizziness, numbness, a sense of unreality. And you interpret these physical signals, I'm dying. This interpretation creates more panic. More adrenaline. More symptoms. A feedback loop. A panic attack usually lasts 10 to 20 minutes. But those 10 minutes feel like a lifetime. After a panic attack, now you're scared. Will it happen again? You can't go back to that supermarket. What if it happens again? So you start avoiding supermarkets, crowded places, anywhere you might not get help. Your life becomes smaller. You stay away from social gatherings. You don't go anywhere. And your house turns into a haven. And a prison, too. This is agoraphobia, the avoidance behavior triggered by the fear of another panic attack. Avoidance, anxiety's sneakiest trap. And now, we come to the most dangerous part of anxiety, avoidance. Because anxiety on its own is already tough. But avoidance makes it chronic. Here's how it works. You're anxious about a situation. Let's say a social event. A party. You're invited, but you don't want to go. Because, what if I say something awkward? What if no one talks to me? What if I have an embarrassing moment? So you don't go. You find an excuse. I'm sick. I'm too busy. Another time. And after not going, you feel relief. The anxiety fades. Wow, I feel so much better. Not going was the right choice. And your brain learns a lesson: avoidance equals relief. The next invitation comes. You avoid it again. Because it works. In the short term. But in the long term, your social muscles weaken. The more you avoid, the more that situation seems dangerous. Now you're not just avoiding parties. You're avoiding meetings, introductions, every social situation. And your loneliness deepens. Types of avoidance. Situational avoidance, steering clear of specific places or situations. Avoiding specific thoughts is known as cognitive avoidance. Suppressing them. I refuse to consider this. However, those thoughts come back stronger the more you suppress them. Emotional avoidance, avoiding feelings. Alcohol. Drugs. Overworking. Gaming. Sex. Anything to numb the emotions. Avoidance feels like a solution in the short term. But in the long term, it's a prison that shrinks your life. The anatomy of anxiety, cognitive distortions. The anxious mind distorts reality. And recognizing these distortions is the first step toward freedom. Catastrophizing, you imagine the worst-case scenario. And you live it as if it's real. My boss wants to talk. I'm definitely getting fired. If I lose my job, I can't pay my bills. I'll lose my house. My family will fall apart. I'll end up homeless. My life is over. All from one email. We need to talk. For words. Reality? Maybe your boss just wants to discuss a project. But your mind jumps to the worst possibility. Mind reading, you think you know what others are thinking. They looked at me like that. They must think I'm an idiot. They didn't reply to my message right away. They're definitely mad. They were quiet in the meeting. They must not like me. But in reality? You have no idea. Maybe they're lost in their own thoughts. Maybe they're tired. Maybe it's something completely unrelated to you. But you choose the negative interpretation. Personalization, you relate everything to yourself. A friend cancels a meetup. I must be boring. They don't want to spend time with me. Reality? Maybe they're genuinely busy. Maybe they're sick. Maybe it's a personal crisis. But you put yourself at the center. Overgeneralization, you interpret one event as if it's always happening. A job interview goes poorly. I'll never succeed. I always fail. From one moment to always. But always is never true. Black and white thinking, there's no gray. It's either perfect or a disaster. If I don't nail this presentation, it'll be a complete failure. No middle ground. Good isn't enough. Only perfect is acceptable. These distortions are automatic. You're not even aware of them. They run in the background. And you see reality through an anxious lens. Solution: learning to live with anxiety. We've come this far. We've delved into the depths of darkness. We've seen the roots, mechanisms, and faces of anxiety. Now the question, what can you do? And I'll tell you the truth. Anxiety cannot be totally eradicated. Since it is a component of your brain. Your means of survival. You also require it. But you can change your relationship with anxiety. Instead of trying to control it, you can learn to dance with it. 1. Awareness, the first step. You can't change anxiety without noticing it. So the first step is awareness. An exercise: today, notice every moment you feel anxious. Without judgment. Just notice. Oh, there's anxiety. Hello. Do this for a week. And you'll see, anxiety comes with specific triggers, specific thought patterns, specific bodily sensations. And awareness is already a power. Because when you notice, you step out of the automatic reaction. You create a space. And in that space, you can choose. 2. Breath, the simplest yet most powerful tool. When you're anxious, your breathing becomes shallow. It speeds up. You're breathing from your chest. And this sends a message to your brain, there's danger. But you can slow your breathing. You can take deep belly breaths. And this sends a different message to your brain, I'm safe. For 7-8 technique, inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 7 seconds. Exhale through your mouth for 8 seconds. Repeat 3 times. And your vagus nerve will activate. Your parasympathetic nervous system will kick in. The rest and digest mode. Your heart rate will slow. Cortisol will drop. Your mind will clear. 3. Question your thoughts, cognitive restructuring. When an anxious thought arises, question it. I'm going to get fired. Stop. Is this a fact or a thought? A thought. Is there evidence? Did your boss actually say something? Or did they just say, we need to talk? Just that they want to talk. Could there be other explanations? Maybe it's about a project. Maybe an opportunity. Maybe feedback. Yes, there could be. If the worst case scenario happens, what then? Would you survive? Yes. It would be tough, but I'd survive. This questioning reduces the power of thoughts. It stops them from being absolute truths. They become just mental events. For exposure, facing the fear. The more you avoid, the bigger the fear grows. The more you face it, the smaller it becomes. So, gradually expose yourself to the situations you fear. If you're avoiding social events, start small. Coffee with a friend. Then a small group. Then a party. With each step, anxiety will come. But stay. Don't run. And after a while, maybe 20 minutes, maybe an hour, the anxiety will peak and then subside. And your brain will learn a new lesson, this situation isn't dangerous. I can handle it. Exposure retrains your nervous system. 5. Return to your body, somatic work. Anxiety lives in the body. So work with the body. Movement, run. Walk. Dance. Do yoga. Movement reduces cortisol and releases endorphins. Stretching, tense muscles feed anxiety. So stretch. Especially your neck, shoulders, and jaw. Touch a warm shower. A massage. Petting an animal. A hug from a loved one. Touch releases oxytocin, the bonding and calming hormone. Shaking, animals shake after danger. It resets their nervous system. You can too. Tense and release your muscles. Gently shake your body. Let the energy out. 6. Be in the now, mindfulness. Anxiety is about thinking of the future or the past. There's no anxiety in the present. Only the now exists. So return to the now. An exercise. See 5 things. Look around. Name 5 things. That lamp. This wall. That table. The window. The carpet. Hear 4 things. Listen. The sound of traffic. The hum of the air conditioner. A bird chirping. Your own breath. Feel 3 things. In your body. Your feet touching the ground. Your clothes on your skin. Your hair brushing your forehead. Smell 2 things. Coffee. Perfume. The air. Whatever's there. Taste 1 thing. Your tongue in your mouth. Maybe take a sip of water. Notice the taste. And there you are, in the now. Anxiety belongs to the past or the future. In the now, you're safe. 7. Journaling, pouring out your thoughts. The thoughts in your head are chaotic, cyclical, tangled. But when you put them on paper, they become clearer. Every night, 10 minutes. Write. What are you anxious about? Why? Is it realistic? Is there something you can do? Writing creates distance from your thoughts. You externalize them, and it makes space in your mind. 8. Social connection, you are not alone. The most powerful antidote, human connection. Talk to a friend. Really talk. Don't say, I'm fine. Be honest. I'm struggling. I'm anxious. I feel alone. And most of the time, you'll see, they feel it too. Everyone is struggling. But no one talks about it. Because everyone's afraid of looking weak. But vulnerability isn't weakness. It's courage. And vulnerability creates connection. Find a support group. Seek therapy. Build a community. Because loneliness feeds anxiety. Connection melts it away. 9. Set boundaries, the power of saying no. Maybe you're saying yes to everyone. Trying to please everyone. And you're burning out. So set boundaries. Learn to say no, I can't do that. That doesn't work for me. I need to rest. At first, you'll feel guilty. But over time, freedom. Because your time, your energy, your life is yours. And you have the right to decide how to spend it. 10. Professional help, you don't have to carry it alone. If anxiety is disrupting your life, affecting your work, straining your relationships, or impacting your physical health, get help. Therapist. Psychologist. Psychiatrist. But I'm not crazy, you say. No one's saying you're crazy. You're just human. And humans sometimes need support. Cognitive behavioral therapy is highly effective for anxiety. It changes thought patterns. Reshapes behaviors. Acceptance and commitment therapy teaches you to accept thoughts rather than fight them. In some cases, medication may be necessary. SSRIs are commonly used for anxiety disorders. And no, taking medication isn't weakness. If a diabetic takes insulin, no one judges. If your brain chemistry is off, medication can help. Digital detox, breaking free from technology. Remember? Social media, news, constant notifications, these are fuel for anxiety. So, for a while, cut them off. Digital detox. A weekend. Or just a day. Turn off your phone. Don't delete social media. Just turn off notifications. The first few hours? FOMO. Discomfort. I'm missing something. But stay with it. And then, after a while, you'll notice your mind quiets down. Less distraction. More presence. More depth. You can read, really read, without checking a screen 100 times. You have a conversation, really listen, without glancing at your phone. You go for a walk, and just walk. Without trying to take a photo or share it. And it feels like a gift. Coming back to your own mind. Long-term changes. No phone for the first hour in the morning. Give yourself time to wake up. No phone at the table while eating. No phone in the bedroom at night. Get a real alarm clock. Limit social media use. 30 minutes a day. No more. Check the news once a day. No constant feed. Finding meaning again, from anxiety to purpose. Sometimes anxiety stems from a deeper void. A lack of meaning. A loss of purpose. Why am I doing this? What's the point of my life? Just working, paying bills, and dying. Modern life has made survival too easy. But living? That's much harder. Because meaning doesn't come ready-made. You have to create it yourself. Ways to find meaning. Contribution, help others. Volunteer. Teach. Mentor. People feel less anxious and more fulfilled when they contribute to something bigger than themselves. Creativity, create something. Write. Draw. Make music. Garden. The act of creation brings your mind to the present. And it quiets anxiety. Learning, learn something new. A language. An instrument. A skill. The feeling of growth creates meaning. Nature, get out of the city. Walk in a forest. Look at the ocean. Climb a mountain. Nature provides perspective. Your problems feel small in the bigger picture. Your values, what truly matters to you? Family? Creativity? Freedom? Justice? Define your values and shape your life around them. Because living in alignment with your values creates meaning. Dancing with anxiety, a new relationship. And now, perhaps the most important piece. Stop seeing anxiety as an enemy. It's not an enemy. It's an overprotective friend. It's trying to keep you safe in the wrong ways, at the wrong times, but its intentions are good. Talk to your anxiety. Yes, you heard that right. When anxiety comes, have a conversation with it. Anxiety, I hear you. Thank you for trying to protect me. But I'm safe right now. I can handle this situation. Sounds strange? Maybe. But it works. Because trying to fight anxiety gives it power. What you resist grows stronger. But when you accept it, when you speak to it kindly, it loses its grip. It becomes just a feeling. Something that comes and goes. Observe your anxiety. In meditation, there's a concept called the observer. You are the observer of your thoughts, your feelings. They are not you. They pass through you. When anxiety comes, observe it. Oh, anxiety's here. Interesting. There's a tightness in my chest. My thoughts are speeding up. But I'm the observer of these. They're temporary. And after a while, there's no set timeline, but after a while, anxiety will come, and you'll just smile. Oh, it's you again. Hello. Come, sit. But I'm not giving you control. Forgiveness, self-compassion. Maybe you've been too hard on yourself. Maybe you've criticized yourself for years. Why am I so weak? Why can everyone else cope, but I can't? What's wrong with me? And now, I want to tell you something, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just human. Imperfect, fragile, struggling. Just like everyone else. Show yourself compassion. If a friend came to you and said, I'm so anxious, I can't handle it, what would you say? Would you say, you're so weak, you're pathetic? No. You'd say, I understand. It's tough. But you're not alone. We'll figure it out together. Why don't you show yourself the same compassion? An exercise, look in the mirror. Look at yourself. Into your eyes. And say, I see you. I see your struggle. And I love you. You are enough. You've always been enough. It'll feel strange at first. You might cry. But repeat it. Every day. Because your brain learns what it hears. And if you constantly criticize yourself, your brain learns, I'm not enough. But if you show yourself compassion, your brain learns, I am worthy. Transformation, a new beginning. Now, let's imagine a scene together. 6 months from now. A year from now. You wake up in the morning. And that old, familiar anxiety, it doesn't come. Just calm. You open your eyes. Sunlight streams through the window. You hear birds chirping. And in that moment, you're just in that moment. Not thinking about the past. Not planning the future. Just now. You have breakfast. You actually enjoy it. You're not checking your phone. You're just eating. The aroma of coffee. The warmth of toast. Simple pleasures. You go to work. An email comes in. We need to talk. And this time? Your heart races for a moment. But you notice it right away. Oh, anxiety. Hello. And you take a deep breath. I'm safe. It's just a meeting. I can handle this. The meeting. Feedback. Not critical, but direct. And you? You don't go into defense mode. You listen. I understand. Thank you. I'll take it into account. And you're not crumbling inside. It's just information. An opportunity to grow. Lunch. You meet a friend. A real conversation. Vulnerability. I've been struggling lately. And your friend says, me too. Let's talk. And that connection feels warm. Healing. Evening. You come home. You sit at the dinner table with your family. And this time, you're there. Your mind isn't on tomorrow, it's on today. You listen to your child's story. Really listen. You laugh. You connect. Night. You get into bed. You close your eyes. And thoughts come, they still come. But you don't cling to them anymore. You observe them. You let them go. And slowly, you drift into sleep. A restful sleep. Deep. Restorative. And the next morning, you wake up again. And life goes on. There are still challenges. Still stress. But you're not drowning in it anymore. You're staying afloat. You're breathing. This is possible. I promise you. This is possible. Community, you are not alone. And here, I want to share one final truth with you. You are not alone. Right now, millions of people around the world are experiencing exactly what you're going through. They wake up at night. They worry. They question themselves. And most do it silently. Because they're ashamed. Because they don't want to seem weak. But here's the truth, struggling is human. Anxiety is a shared experience. And whenever a community forms, when people speak honestly, show vulnerability, offer support, magic happens. So, share in the comments. I'm going through this too. I feel this way too. You're not alone. And read others' comments. See how many people are fighting the same battle. And realize you are truly not alone. Create a support group. Online or in person. Connect with people. Share your story. Listen to theirs. Because healing happens together. In connection. In community. Not an end, but a beginning. And now, here we are. At the end of this journey. But really, this isn't an end. It's a beginning. Because these words you've read, these moments, weren't just about giving you information. They were about awakening something in you. Maybe an awareness. Oh, that's why I feel this way. Maybe a relief. It's not just me. This is normal. Maybe a hope. I can change. Things can get better. And now, the question, what will you do? Because knowledge doesn't change anything. Action does. So today, take one step. A small step. Do a breathing exercise. Text a friend. Start a journal. Go for a walk. Call a therapist. Just one step. But a step. And tomorrow, another step. And one day, you'll look back and be amazed, how did I come this far? Because transformation isn't about big leaps. It's about small, daily choices. Repeated decisions. Slow, Patient growth. Final message. You're sitting in front of this screen right now. Maybe your house is quiet. Maybe you're in a cafe. Maybe you're at work, sneaking a moment. And maybe you're still anxious. Maybe that feeling is still in your chest. Maybe your mind is still racing. But I want to tell you something. Directly to you. You are enough. Right now, exactly as you are. Life doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Sometimes, just surviving, just breathing, is brave enough. Your anxiety isn't your enemy. It's a teacher. It's trying to tell you something. Maybe that you need to slow down. Maybe that it's time to set boundaries. Maybe that you need to be kinder to yourself. Listen to it. But don't let it control your life. And remember, your worth isn't in your achievements. Not in your productivity. Not in what others think of you. You are valuable just by existing. You're breathing. You're feeling. You're struggling. You're growing. And that is a miracle. A small, quiet miracle. But a miracle. So, be gentle with yourself. Be patient. And keep going. One step. Then another. And one day, maybe soon, maybe a long time from now, you'll wake up, and anxiety won't fill the room anymore. It'll just be a soft whisper in the background. And you'll smile. Because you won. Not by defeating anxiety, but by learning to dance with it. Now, I have one request. If this content resonated with you, if it made you feel a little less alone, a little more hopeful, please share in the comments how this affected me. What I connected with. What I felt. Because your story could save someone else. Your courage to speak could break someone else's silence. And if you cried while watching this, trembled, got angry, or felt relief, that's normal. Because this is real. And real always touches us. Subscribe. Turn on notifications. Because this journey continues. And I'll keep walking with you. You are not alone. You never were. You never will be. And anxiety? It's just a reminder you still feel. You still care. You're still alive. And that is a gift. Breathe. Let go. And take one more step. You can do this. I promise. With love, understanding, and deep respect. On behalf of everyone walking this journey with you, may the light be with you.